Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, Excellencies, greetings from Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. At the outset, on behalf of the Kyrgyz Republic, as depository and the current chair of the Treaty on Nuclear Weapon Free Zone in Central Asia, and the state parties, the Republic of Kazakhstan, the Republic of Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and the Republic of Uzbekistan, let me congratulate you all with the 25th anniversary of the opening for the signature of the African Nuclear Weapon Free Zone Treaty, Treaty of Palindaba. Today we are witnessing the destruction of the existing nuclear arms control system, which is a dangerous trend for all mankind. It is hard to imagine an international climate less hospitable to nuclear arms control. Under such circumstances, it is more important than ever to recognize and strengthen those nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation approaches that continue to be effective, including nuclear weapon-free zones and the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. We welcome and applaud the important contribution of the Treaty of Palindaba to international peace and security, for promoting and strengthening global nuclear weapon-free zone regime, nuclear disarmament, and nuclear non-proliferation. Palindaba, Tlatelolco, Rarotonga, Bangkok, and Central Asian and Antarctic treaties, as well as the Mongolia's nuclear weapon-free status, are playing an important role in enhancing regional cooperation and security and to global efforts to completely eliminate nuclear weapons and prevent their proliferation. Today we have to work together to strengthen the coordination and cooperation among nuclear weapon-free zones. This activity may include promotion of the exchange of good practices and lessons learned, as well as to support regional processes on creation of nuclear weapon-free zones. In this regard, we note with regret that conference on the establishment in the Middle East of a zone free of nuclear weapons and all other weapons of mass destruction and their delivery systems, as mandated by the 2010 NPT Review Conference, has not been convened yet. However, we take positive note of the work of the United Nations Conference on the same theme, which held its first meeting in November 2019. We welcome the fourth Conference of the Nuclear Weapon-Free Zones in Mongolia to be held in New York on the 21st July 2021, in advance of the 2021 Review Conference of the Parties to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of the Nuclear Weapons. The Kyrgyz Republic will take an active part in their work with a view to moving towards a nuclear weapon-free world. Mr. Chairman, this year we will mark the 50th anniversary of the signature of the Central Asian Nuclear Weapon-Free Zone Treaty. Motivated by the desire to contribute meaningfully to systematic and consistent efforts to reduce nuclear weapons globally, with the ultimate goal to eliminate those weapons and achieving general and complete disarmament under strict and effective international control, the Central Asian states signed the Treaty on Nuclear Weapon-Free Zone in Central Asia in September 2006. The treaty was signed in the city of Semipalatinsk of Kazakhstan, where in 1991 one of the world's largest nuclear test sites was closed. The treaty entered into force on the 21st of March 2009 and represented then an important step towards strengthening the nuclear non-proliferation regime and promoting cooperation in the peaceful use of nuclear energy. It also signified furthering cooperation in the environmental rehabilitation and recovery of territories affected by radioactive contamination, and thus constitutes an important measure to enhance regional and international peace and security. my country has been entrusted to serve as depository of both the treaty itself and its protocol, and it is faithfully carrying out these functions. Kyrgyzstan is also the coordinator of the zone for the 2020-2021 cycles. In October 2009, the first consultative meeting of the state parties of the treaty was held in Ashgabat of Turkmenistan. Further consultations have been organized regularly in the various capitals of Central Asian states, and most recent virtual meeting on 24th of November 2020 in Kyrgyzstan. These meetings identified joint activities to be undertaken by the state parties in the region in order to ensure fulfillment of their obligations set out in the treaty, and simultaneously develop cooperation on disarmament issues with other United Nations member states and international bodies. During the last meeting, the state parties identified the following main priorities for the 2020-2021 period. A. Preparation for the 2021 Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty Review Conference. B. Strengthening the coordination within the zone. C. Developing the cooperation between Central Asian Nuclear Weapon Free Zone and AFCONE, OPANAL, and other nuclear weapon free zones. D. Further elaboration of the draft of a treaty on cooperation in preventing illicit trafficking in nuclear materials and combating nuclear terrorism among the state parties to the Central Asian Nuclear Weapon Free Zone Treaty. On 3rd of November 2020, United Nations General Assembly First Committee adopted a resolution entitled Treaty on a Nuclear Weapon Free Zone in Central Asia without a vote, and confirmed it at the plenary session of the United Nations General Assembly on the 7th of December the same year. Mr. Chairman, on the 6th of May 2014, the 5 nuclear weapon states, namely France, China, Russia, United Kingdom, and the United States, signed the protocol on negative security assurances to the Treaty on a Nuclear Weapon Free Zone in Central Asia. It is the first time that a protocol to Nuclear Weapon Free Zone Treaty was signed by the Nuclear Five simultaneously. This accomplishment marked an important milestone for enhancing both regional security in Central Asia and the global nuclear non-proliferation regime. By ratifying the protocol, the 5 nuclear weapon states will undertake legally binding obligations not to use or threaten to use nuclear weapons against the states parties of the treaty. To date, the People's Republic of China, the Russian Federation, the French Republic, and the United Kingdom have ratified the protocol, and we express the hope for its earliest ratification by the United States of America. In conclusion, Mr. Chairman, allow me to wish all good health, prosperity, peace, as well as success in achieving noble goals of nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation. I thank you.